Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by the movie hangout. Disney greed. That's the topic of this video. Before I jump into this super spicy article, if you go on over, click subscribe, comment, like, I really appreciate it. Okay, so Disney, as you all know, is just bound and determined to turn people away, to undo the decades and decades, I mean, really like 50 years of goodwill towards fans and families and people that just want to really enjoy and just kind of get away from the stress, everyday stresses of the world and immerse themselves in a world of make believe and wonderment and like time just stops and everybody has fun. But Disney now, the people in charge, they don't understand that at all, and they're just bound and determined to undo all of that. So uh, right now, Disney is just they're the only creativity that's coming from that company is how to squeeze more money out of each and every one of the patrons that go into their park or go to the movies. They're really not adding any new creativity. They're not reinventing the wheel. It's just they're just greasing the old one to get more traction. So Disney's $5,000, I can't even believe it. Yeah, it's 5,000, 5,000, not 50, not 500, $5,000 Star Wars hotel and line cutting fees. Some fans say the magic is gone. Frustrated fans are voicing disenchantment over price hikes and fees on services that were once free. I have never in my life paid to jump at the head of the line anywhere. Back in my day, when you were a kid in the 90s, you did it the old-fashioned way. You just kind of pretended like you're going up to the front of the line to meet somebody. You just slide in, squeeze on in there. Not condoning it, just being real with you. Just being real. That's what we did. That's the old school way. Then they kind of were like, okay, we don't want people doing that. We don't want kids cutting. So you can actually, a couple times a day, reserve, a time when you're going to be getting on a ride. That way there's no line cutting. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. But they couldn't leave it alone. And they couldn't even make it even better. They had to then monetize it because of course they did. Matt Day has spent much of the pandemic indoors with his family, watching Disney animated films. Same here. Moving from Brave to Frozen to Moana to Encanto. The 33-year-old senior marketing manager recently started pricing a May family trip to Disney World. Ooh, boy, that's expensive. So his kids, 2 and 4, could experience some movie magic in real life. I'm sorry. If you have kids that are 2 and 4, it's a little too young to be dropping that much coin on Disney. I would wait till like the youngest kid is at least, 4 or 5, that way. And then the oldest kid here would be, 6 or 7 years old. That way they'll at least remember something from it, and they're not going to be whining, complaining, and, to make it worth your while, I would say. Even though his 2-year-old is young enough for free admission, Day said the cost of tickets for 3 days would amount to $1,455 if his family wanted to visit multiple parks in one day. A hotel on the sprawling Walt Disney World Resort around Orlando would set them back at least $500 a night. Man, you can get a pretty good suite in Vegas for that, or if not cheaper than that. In all, his estimates placed the trip between $4 and $5 grand, with the family driving from Bowling Green, Kentucky. An incredible investment, he said. You're not lying there. I understand inflation and all those things. I understand cost increases, he said. I always had the impression that Disney was a family vacation destination, and that impression is why I was surprised to see how expensive it truly is and how out of reach it is for most American families. Couldn't agree more. Complaints about the price of a Disney vacation may sound like a tale as old as time, but as masses return to the world's most popular theme parks following a pandemic closures, they are finding fees attached to perks they used to be free. And some of the most frustrated fans are voicing new levels of disenchantment. It's really unprecedented, said Len Testa, president of the theme park trip planning site Touring Plans and co-author of the unofficial guides to Walt Disney World and Disneyland. We haven't seen this sort of anger about price hikes, and we can't remember the last time something like this caused this much anger from Disney fans. Robert Niles, founder and editor of Theme Park Insider, said in an email that many fans are in a worse financial position than they were before the pandemic. So every Disney price increase hurts even more. Niles said the pandemic era requirement for advanced reservations has also been frustrating for guests who hold annual passes but might not be able to find a spot when they want to go. That's a pretty big problem. That difference makes a Disney pass feel much less of a value, do you think? Disney invests billions and prices rise. At a time when inflation reached a 40-year high, the entertainment giant just launched interactive two-night Star Wars experience, which starts at $5,300 for a family of 3. You know, most families are families of 4, so they got 2 kids. So it's going to be even more than that. And it's for 2 nights. Crazy. The company has raised prices for some multi-day theme park tickets on both coasts, according to media reports, and it increased the cost of entry for all but the least busy days in California. A site devoted to Disney dining, Disney Food blog, tracked hundreds of increases. And then here is let's see, we got, according to data Testa compiled, well, these people really got into this, from archived price tracking sites and guidebooks, the nightly price of the cheapest room at Disney World's Pop Century Resort cost from $95 in 2013 to $168 in 2022. That's a pretty big price jump there. So it's like $74. $73 there. That's, yeah, 73 difference. It's a 77% increase, more than 3 times the rise in inflation over that span. Nuts. The nightly rate at two other Disney World hotels, Port Orleans, Riverside, and Animal Kingdom, increased by more than 60%. So you got in 2013. This is inflation down here. And then you got the blue-green one is Port Orleans right here. And then you got Pop Century going like crazy. And then you got the kind of pink, the violet color, Animal Kingdom here. That is nuts. Look how much the price has risen. At domestic parks, entry-level tickets priced at $109 in Florida and $104 in California haven't increased since 2019, even if they are only available on limited off-peak days. Historic data tracked by Testa shows that those 109 tickets were available on 47 days in 2019, compared to 22 days in the years since. And then it has like the parks are running specials. And this person here tweeted out, why does it cost more to go to Disney World than Hawaii? Seriously. You know, I think that I'm probably going to be just booking a trip to Hawaii. Might as well, right? You can go on the Jurassic Park trail where you actually go outdoors. You can get on like 4-wheelers and you can check out like where they filmed the Jurassic Park movie. You know, I think that would be pretty cool. And that's way cheaper than going to Disney, even locally. While data from this past year isn't available yet, Disney parks around the world saw more than 155 million visitors in 2019, according to an attendance estimate. So the problem with that is 155 million. So what Disney's doing is they're dramatically increasing, and I've seen this firsthand. They're dramatically increasing the price of the ticket when you come in. They're dramatically increasing the price of beverages, of food, of souvenirs. And what ends up happening with that is that you think you're okay, I'm going to spend a lot of money with the family, and you go in there, and then it's like that's just like the gateway to get you in. Once you're in, you feel almost like you're obligated to buy more stuff because you already spent over 100 and some bucks a ticket. And then by the time you leave, I mean, it's like 400, 500 bucks, $600. And I have to tell you, even though the price of their beverages and food has gone up, the quality has decreased. If you order like chicken legs, if you order like any like meat product from Disney in there, I mean, it's like grade B, grade C level. I mean, if you get like chicken legs, they're dry, they're kind of small. I mean, it's really not very good. If you order, fruits and vegetables, they're mediocre at best. One time there was like 105 degrees out. I was getting off a ride with some people, and it's so hot out. And there were like these water stands. They were selling water, and I was like, "Oh, great, that's awesome." So I walked over, and this Disney employee is like, "Yeah, this is bottled water. Now, this is just generic bottled water you get at a gas station. It even had the same label on it, just generic stuff." It was $10 for a bottle of water. I'm not kidding. $10. I was insulted. I could not believe after all this, there are kids around, family, elderly people that just need some cold water. Disney then was taking advantage of that situation to make $10 if you get 4 bottles of water, which really the value of 4 bottles of water is maybe like $1, but you'd be spending $40 on that. It's ridiculous. But that's just the type of nickel and diming that kills any goodwill that people have towards the company. And hopefully it'll be a big wake-up call to them to stop doing that, because it really is a slap in the face. The danger, he said, is if public opinion turns against a company. Well, mine's changed, a lot of people's has. And we're not being trolls, we're not being negative. We're just telling you like it is, so you should listen. Quote, "I think Disney's worst nightmare is if Walt Disney World isn't considered an aspirational destination for most Americans, but if it's instead viewed as, I don't know what that, Ibiza? I don't know. Tell me how to pronounce it. I don't know. Something that rich people go to." Well, I think it kind of is on its way to being that. If you have things that are $5,000 for 2 nights, a new 2-night Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser experience, which includes a themed hotel and food, role-playing adventures, and a trip to the Star Wars section of Disney's Hollywood Studios, starts at $4,800 for 2 people. Oh, it's really sad. And then there's the line skipping apps. For now, the devotees continue to descend on Disney World, forcing parks to limit access on their busiest days to manage crowding. That's another thing too. Disney squeezes in so many people inside the park on top of hiking up the prices that, I mean, you feel like you're like in a mosh pit of people. It's nuts, which is awful because you only get to really go on like 3 rides a whole day, right? So you're paying like $109 individually to go on 3 rides that day, and you're sitting in line a long, long time. It's brutal. And when fans get past the gate, they have been spending more money than they did even before the pandemic. Very true. The company said the increase was driven by ticket revenue, lie, higher hotel prices, lie, and more spending on food, drinks, and merchandise. Not true. They're just pocketing it. They are. I mean, and then this person goes, "It's not fun anymore." Tessa said he believes that the latest rash of discontent bubbled up after the company started charging for the formerly free Fast Pass. Don't mess with people's Fast Passes. And doing away with Magical Express, The free airport, they did away with the free airport shuttle for hotel guests at the beginning. That is so cringe. That's like one of the most magical parts about it. That is, wow. Ugh, ridiculous. Those changes can add up. A new shuttle similar to the free version costs $16 each way for every passenger older than 10, $13.50 for children ages 3 to 9. Oh, come on. Disney gave away Fast Pass for more than 20 years now. It's individual Lightning Lane and Genie Plus, which not only a complicated system, but two separate charges for what used to be free. Jeez, oh man. The magic's gone. It's not fun anymore. Then, with all the price hikes and the money stuff, it's just like I don't even want to go back. But when you spend the amount of money you've ever spent and you go and have a substandard experience worse than before, and this is multiplied by the fact that it's so crowded, these are all things that kind of entice this extreme dissatisfaction. He suspects many loyal fans will continue to visit, even if they scream and cry about rising costs and changes at the parks. I mean, come on, if you're a loyal fan, you have an obligation to make sure Disney is better. So stop paying for all this stuff. Have your voice heard. Make them run their company better. But he said everyday travelers might avoid the vacation option we are, especially as social media amplifies the displeasure from critics. And then this person says, I couldn't even imagine the average working class family being able to afford it. I can't either. And then Mighty Jabba. Look, you better listen to what Mighty Jabba says, okay? Don't be brushing off Mighty Jabba. Says, I don't like Disney's super expensive Star Wars themed hotel experience for the same reason I don't like the original solid gold Apple Watches. Aside from it being a questionable value, it effectively shuts out the vast majority of people. Seriously. You know, those tickets at Disney better be gold like the ones from Willy Wonka, if they're going to be costing that much. And then leaving Disney behind. Well, a lot of people are. You admitted you're going to price gouge us. On top of that, you kick us in the teeth. Brutal. I have to say, you know, I went to Disney World in Florida, and then I went to Universal Studios, Orlando. Not even close. Not even comparable. Disney World was not even close to being as fun and affordable as Universal Studios Orlando. Universal Studios was amazing. Every aspect of it. The quality of the food was way better. And let me tell you, that's important. If you're going to spend a whole day somewhere, you want to eat good food. You want to be, you want to be filled up. You want to be nourished. You want to feel good. Drinks are great, but the butterbeer they got there is fantastic on tap. The souvenirs were awesome. Still got those. I mean, they're almost like display pieces. They're so well made. Just the employees seemed happier too. It was a big wake-up call. I hope Disney, as a fan, turns it around, because I would hate to see Walt Disney's creation, go down in flames. I do not want to see that. I want it to be revitalized, be better than ever, and be family-friendly and affordable again. Well, let me know what you think. Do you want it to be family-friendly and affordable again, or do you think that Disney is just kind of on its way out? It's kind of been played out. Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you want to get future rants, reviews, or original content, click subscribe. Later.